I've been saying that one of the ways to fight this is not to finance these people, is to have physical gold and silver outside the system. And that's why these people hate gold and silver, of course. And that's why Scott Bessent is pushing Bitcoin. I saw the other day, he's saying Bitcoin is doing great. He doesn't want you to buy the gold and silver because if you do so and there's a rush for physical, they're finished. And that's my only hope.
Mario Innecco from Innecco64 says the recent choppy action in gold isn't a reason to worry. It's a reminder of why owning real, physical gold and silver is so important. To him, this isn't just about hedging against inflation or making a profit. It's about preserving independence in a financial world built on control. Every time someone sells their metals to move back into fiat currency, they're stepping deeper into a system that's built to keep people dependent on central banks and endless debt. He believes the fiat structure isn't collapsing because of bad policy or socialism. As some say, it's something more deliberate. It's a slow, creeping form of authoritarian control disguised as economic management. The more unstable the financial system becomes, the tighter the controls grow. On cash, on private ownership, on the ability to transact freely. That's why, in his view, protecting what's real matters more than ever. Innecco urges people to focus on what they can control, safeguard their family, stay informed, and avoid financing the very system that's designed to weaken them. Holding physical gold and silver is, for him, an act of quiet resistance, one that keeps wealth outside the reach of central planners. He also points out that this is why mainstream voices so aggressively promote Bitcoin instead. Digital assets can be tracked, taxed, and controlled, while physical gold and silver exist beyond the digital net. A major shift toward real metal, he argues, would expose how fragile and over-leveraged the global financial system truly is. If you found value in this breakdown, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with other investors who are paying attention. We're here to keep bringing you sharp analysis and voices that actually understand what's unfolding. Thanks for watching.
Yes, and the price of gold has been choppy, but do you understand now the importance of having gold and silver, real gold and silver? I don't mean like paper promises. It's more than just safeguarding the purchasing power of your savings. It's about safeguarding your sovereignty. And I can't emphasize how important that is, and how a huge mistake it is to get rid of your physical gold and silver, unless you have an emergency, of course, to put it back in this currency that finances this monstrosity, which is the central banking system that is run by the bankers, and that is disguised as a horrible system by democracy, right? And the fact that we can choose our leaders, well, they're not, we don't choose them. They're selected by the bankers for us to choose one of their two picks, right? That's what it's all about. So yes, Rachel Reeves, they're talking about doubling the council tax for houses above the F band. Council tax is like a real estate tax. So yeah, people paying right now $5,000 a year in council tax could be paying $10,000 as of next April. And you can bet they're going to go down the bands eventually, and everyone's going to be paying double the council tax. And why do they need to tax us? Well, because they need to keep the gilt market, which is the engine, the government bond market is the engine of this fiat currency system. If that implodes and if yields go through the roof, yeah, the whole system goes down. The banks collapse. The central banks collapse. And that would be a great thing, but they're extracting the last pound of flesh, so to speak, from you, and who's going to be buying all these assets, because people are going to start selling their homes. They can't afford it. A lot of people who own these expensive homes are in Greater London, southeast of England. A lot of them are like pensioners or seniors who bought those houses at a lot lower price and now are in a fixed income. They're going to be forced to sell. Are young people who are working now, are they going to buy these expensive homes? And even if you have the money, are you going to buy it so you can pay more tax? No. So it's going to end up that Wall Street is going to buy it. People like BlackRock, JP Morgan, Barclays, HSBC. And that's the whole objective. They want to control you. The bankers are monopolists. And it's not just socialism that is throttling the country. It's communism. Socialism, communism are the same. And the reason why things are getting so much more authoritarian is that socialism and communism are not systems that are voluntary, right? And the more desperate they are, the more they're going to crack down on your liberties, on your property, and on everything else. So, really tough. How do I keep a sane mind? Well, I try to do as much as possible that I can for myself and my family. I can't control a lot of what's going on, but I'm certainly aware of what's going on, and there are ways to fight this. And here on the channel, I've been saying that one of the ways to fight this is not to finance these people, is to have physical gold and silver outside the system. And that's why these people hate gold and silver, of course. And that's why Scott Bessent is pushing Bitcoin. I saw the other day, he's saying Bitcoin is doing great. He doesn't want you to buy the gold and silver, because if you do so and there's a rush for physical, they're finished. And that's my only hope.
Mario Innecco says the US dollar may still dominate global reserves, but its foundation is crumbling. Central banks around the world are quietly trading dollars for gold, signaling that confidence in the fiat system is fading. Even heavyweight investors like Ray Dalio now admit that gold, not paper currency, is the truest form of money. The problem, Innecco explains, is that Washington knows this shift threatens the dollar-based order. With fewer buyers for U.S. debt and a deficit topping $38 trillion, rising interest rates have become an existential risk. To keep control, policymakers are pushing attention toward Bitcoin and digital assets. Innecco calls it a deliberate distraction, a way to divert capital away from physical gold and silver. If the public realized how fragile the dollar really is, a major move into tangible assets could unravel the illusion of stability. He argues that the current crisis isn't just financial but moral. The same governments that were meant to protect property and liberty now confiscate wealth through taxation and inflation. They've grown bloated, consuming half of what private citizens produce. The real defense, Innecco says, begins mentally: stay disciplined, hold real assets, and refuse to participate in a system that feeds off control and dependency. Let's get back to the interview.
And this morning, there are stories in the press here that Rachel Reeves is looking to double council tax for 1 million homes. And it doesn't sound that bad, and most normal people don't have homes that are that expensive. But believe it or not, or believe me when I say that once they start down this road, yes, the people with the cheaper homes in the lower bands, they're going to start paying as well. And why are the bankers part of this? Well, because they need to keep the government bond market going, because that's the engine of this system. If you don't have a government bond market to finance fiat currency and the banks, the commercial or private banks that are part of this scheme, you've got nothing, right? And that's what they're concerned about. In the United States, of course, I think the same thing is happening. Yes, you are paying the biggest tax. There's been the biggest tax increase in decades in the U.S., and that's called the tariffs. The foreign countries that export to the United States, they're not paying it. It's the importer, and you can bet the importer is going to pass on these costs to you if they haven't already, and also through inflation in the U.S. The U.S. dollar is still a major reserve currency, or the major reserve currency, even though we're seeing actually that the best currency, really, the currency that's the best money, and that's not just me saying it, it's Ray Dalio, one of the most successful hedge fund managers, recently said gold is the best money. Well, yeah, the dollar is quickly disappearing from like central bank reserves, and gold is taking over, and they're desperate. The American authorities as well, Mr. Bessent as well, the Secretary of the Treasury there, because that means they won't be buying the U.S. debt as much, and rates are going to go up, and the debt is unsustainable. The big beautiful bill is continuing deficit spending. We're at 38 trillion. Yes, of course, they're trying to push people into cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and stable coins, but yeah, that's a big mistake. Even Bessent said that. Praised Bitcoin the other day. That's because he doesn't want you to buy gold because, yeah, it's the best money, and it's money, right? That's what JP Morgan once said as well, that gold is money, everything else is credit. So that's what's going on. These bankers are desperate. Their fiat currency system is teetering. And what's, in my opinion, how do I try to fight this? Well, first of all, you need to fight it mentally, in my opinion. You need to keep a clear mind. You need to keep your mental or your philosophical independence. You got to keep believing in the right things, right? That theft is bad, because this is what this is, right? Theft of private property is bad, and unfortunately, our governments have become the biggest thieves out there, unfortunately, and I say that like with no problem, really, because governments usually are created by a collective of individuals to try to protect this collective from people who are trying to steal their property or hurt their body, or other collectives who are trying to invade your collective, your country, right, the borders. That's all government is there for. It should be minimal, but now government is like spending 50% of what the private sector produces.
What's really being tested right now isn't just the strength of gold or the weakness of the dollar, it's the boundaries of personal and financial freedom. Mario Innecco's warning cuts deeper than market analysis. It's about sovereignty in a world where money itself has become a tool of compliance. The financial system, once built on trust and productivity, has morphed into a structure of surveillance and control, where every digital transaction leaves a trail and every policy decision chips away at independence. Gold and silver, in contrast, remain stubbornly private, untraceable, tangible, and beyond the grasp of centralized authority. Their importance, then, isn't measured in price charts but in the autonomy they preserve. What's unfolding feels less like an economic shift and more like a quiet revolt against engineered dependence. As central banks accumulate metal and governments tighten digital controls, individuals are faced with a choice: stay tethered to a system that feeds on inflation and data, or reclaim a measure of freedom through assets that can't be printed or tracked. The deeper question now is whether society recognizes this transformation in time, or will the majority wake up only after the digital net has already closed around them? So stay tuned if you're into real, data-backed takes on the financial system. Hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the weekly updates. Thank you for the support, and I hope you enjoy the video.